What's going on? We back, Motor City Sports Talk. It's your boy CJ Goodfella. And yeah, you read the title right. Ameer Abdullah is continuing to voice his frustration with the Detroit Lions. Remember a couple months ago, we spoke on this. I think it was right after the Lions offseason. He went spilling beans and tea and everything out about his role with the Detroit Lions and how he wasn't happy. In this interview he's done with Michael Rappaport, which is written out in the article, and I believe in the link in the description. I'm gonna put it in the description. Is going to have the video as well, or just the voiceover. His interview he did with Michael Rappaport and I Am Rappaport podcast, which actor turned sports journalist Michael Rappaport has done very well for himself in the sports world so far. But Ameer Abdullah is, one of the things he is saying. Let's start off here, that he's not allowed to get in the rhythm. He's not allowed to get in the rhythm. He's not getting enough touches to actually get in the rhythm in the game. He said they give me a touch, a run, I bust it for 10 yards, and I won't get a touch like that until the next quarter. I end up pass blocking when I come back in the game, saying that he's not being utilized right, and he's contradicting himself. Because then he goes on to say, well, I trust the coaches and the game plan and stuff of that nature. And then, but then he'd go on and say, well, they're not utilizing me right, Even though I trust the coaches to put me in the right position, but I'm not getting utilized right. I'm not getting enough touches. When he was healthy, he hasn't even eclipsed 600 yards rushing. And I wonder why that is. Some people will tell you half the story, but won't tell you the whole story. And the whole story with Ameer Abdullah is that he fumbles. He don't have any vision to be patient. And everything he wants to just pop outside. And on top of that, he get injured. So how can you feed the beast when the beast is fumbling and getting injured? Okay? So, he's just telling half the story and stuff like that. He's upset because his role hasn't expanded and he hasn't grown within this offense like he thought he would when he got here. He said the positive thing about being in Detroit is that it made him mentally tough. Dealing with all the injuries, dealing with the lack of touches, dealing with the major role that he wants here or just wants in the NFL. He says at Nebraska, I knew I was getting the ball 20 times a game. So I was able to get in the rhythm and, get those big gains after a while. In Detroit, they won't give me the opportunity. I know I'm in a pass-heavy offense, but I still need the ball. And it sounds like he's tired of sharing time. He wants to be the workhorse running back. But he hasn't proven to be consistent enough in the availability department, consistent enough in holding on to the ball, and consistent enough with his gameplay. And people, will defend him and say, well, the Detroit Lions offensive line isn't that good, and the running scheme isn't that good from Jim Bob Cooter, and I agree. But at the end of the day, no matter how bad the running scheme is or the offensive line is, you don't fumble that ball. And he's consistently fumbled that ball. He's consistently got 1.5 yard carry. He's consistently not been able to be in there on short yardage plays. And now it gets worse for him. It seems like at this point that he's lobbying for his release from the Lions. He don't want to be here. He'd rather been Tion Green yesterday and got cut. He sound like he wanted out at the end of the year. And it's not going to get any better for Ameer Abdullah, to be honest. Forget the article for a minute. He's dealing with Kerryon Johnson, LeGarrette Blount, not only just theoretic. He's dealing with competition. So this new coaching staff, he going to have to prove that he can beat the competition. And will he be good enough to start over LeGarrette Blount and get more touches than Kerryon Johnson? Or will he be able to even beat theoretic out for the third down back, excuse me. So it sounds like he knows the right on the door, and he's trying to push the door open before he's completely given the cold shoulder. He wants out. And I'm not just saying that based off this podcast and this interview. He did another interview I talked about earlier this year. he don't want to be here. Especially, the difference between the interview we did earlier this year or after the season to this time is that they brought 2 more running backs in. So your chances of consistently getting the ball has been cut in half, and that was already slim to none. So you cut slim to none down, you basically got none and a little bit of some. And he's voicing his displeasure with the Detroit Lions and how they used them. Can I argue against him with that? No. Obviously, the Lions didn't know how to run the ball under Jim Bob Cooter last year. They didn't know how to let anybody get in the rhythm. And not only they didn't let Ameer Abdullah get in the rhythm, okay, or Theoretic get in the rhythm, or whoever it was last year running the ball, the runs they had was stupid. Some of the counters and some of the inside runs and the same redundant runs was stupid. Ameer Abdullah got a point here. But the running game was sorry last year. The scheme was sorrier. And I understand when people say the offensive line was bad, but the scheme, Jim Bob Cooter should have been fired just off the running game scheme. But they gave him some support this year with a running game coordinator, a new offensive line coach. So he got some support there. Matt Patricia understands how to run the ball as well. So they have support there. But how sorry that run game was last year, and how sorry that how Jim Bob Cooter underutilized a lot of weapons with the Detroit Lions, he should be out of here. I still stand by that. I still ain't forgot about that. He should legitimately be out of here with some of the stupid play calls and some of the redundant run plays that never work. We've been looking at that jet sweep for years and it never worked. That counter play, it never worked. Would it surprise me if Ameer Abdullah went somewhere else and had success? Absolutely not. Because Jim Bob Cooter and that offense held him back, held Theoretic back. And I'm not saying they're the greatest running backs in the world. But if they don't plan on revamping that offensive scheme, at least the run game under Jim Bob Cooter, or if it was Jim Caldwell holding it back, it ain't no point in you going out to get other running backs. It's going to be the same results. So they got to get the running game plays out of Jim Bob Cooter's hands and teach him how to run the ball, because Ameer Abdullah ain't lying. But the thing about it, he hasn't held up his end of the bargain on being healthy, on holding on to the ball. He hasn't held his end of the bargain up either with Detroit. And he could blame it on Jim Bob Cooter all he want. But they ain't got nothing to do with you turning over that ball. It ain't got nothing to do with you, coming to play and staying healthy. Because he ain't been healthy. Availability, the best ability is availability. So I'm going to link this Michael Rappaport interview in the description. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. We gone.